Alright, today's video is going to be focused specifically on legendary lost sectors, and it's just a few of the tips that I've come up with over the last few weeks, especially as I've been really grinding them out, trying to get all of the exotics that I can. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to run through all of the tips really quickly, and then I'm going to break them down later on in the video. But everything is timestamped, so if there's something that you want to skip to, feel free to just skip around in the video as much as you want to. The first tip that I want to share is finding a loadout that you want to use, something that you're comfortable with, but also that's going to work for the lost sector. So it'll cover all the shields, the champions, the burn, because those are the most important things, especially the shields and the champions. You have to have weapons that are going to work for that lost sector, also that you want to use. Secondly, prioritize the ads. If you're struggling to kill champions, struggling to stay alive, struggling to finish within the time limit, focus on killing the ads before you focus on killing the champions and the bosses. Finally, I think this is the most important one, especially for lost sectors, is familiarizing yourself with the layout, where the enemies are going to spawn, where shielded enemies are, and where the different champions are going to come from. Because once you learn all those things, it's a lot easier to stay alive and know where you need to focus your fire next. I am sure that there are other tips that people have. I'm sure these aren't the only tips that work for legendary lost sectors. If you have tips that you think I missed that you want to share, go ahead in the comments down below. And if there's enough likes and activity on this video, I might make a part 2 or go more in depth onto the different tips, just depending on what you guys want. And like I said before, feel free to skip ahead to different parts of the video. But right now I want to explain how you unlock a lost sector if you don't have them unlocked already. So the first thing that you have to do is you have to unlock the patrol zone, obviously. Like, you have to be able to do the patrols and get to the lost sector in order to unlock it. And then you also have to run through the lost sector normally, kill the boss, and open the chest. Once you do that, you should see something that pops up and it'll say adventure unlocked. And another thing to note is this has to be done on every character. Now, as far as the first tip goes, I think it's the most important thing when it comes to Destiny 2 overall. But it's also very, very important for lost sectors. There are definitely loadouts that are better than others, and when I do legendary lost sectors, I tend to focus on only one or two exotics. My general go-to is if there's a barrier champion, if there are barrier champion mods, I will use Arbalist. Just because it's so good at getting those barrier champions and also destroying any types of shields that I run into. If there aren't any barrier champions, I'm most likely going to be running Osteostriga because it's so good at ad clear, and it's super, super, super good for overloads because it doesn't let them regen health as long as they're poisoned. Another thing that I do is I will set my loadout. I'll be like, all right, I think this is going to be what I want to run. I'll run it a couple times, and then I'll kind of look at it again. I'll be like, I think I can switch out this gun or that gun. I think it would be better for me to use this gun. You know, some stuff like that. I'm never afraid to switch it up. And when it comes to my heavy weapon, I always use the burn for a heavy weapon because that's what I'm going to be killing the boss with, and I want to kill the boss fast. Secondly, my second tip, try to prioritize the ads. If I feel that I'm not going to be able to easily kill the champions and the bosses, or if it's just getting overwhelming and I keep on dying, I'm going to start prioritizing the ads more. And prioritizing ads isn't something that's super complicated to do. I don't think it needs that much explanation, but it's something that really, really helped when I was first running the lost sectors. I wasn't prioritizing ads. I was really stressed out about killing the champions, and so I was just trying to kill them, and then I kept dying to ads. And there were a couple times where I completely wiped because I was dying so much, and I just didn't want to focus on the ads because I thought that I needed to focus on the champions instead, when I really should have focused on the ads and then killed the champions. The only time that I don't really recommend prioritizing ads is if you're trying to kill the boss as fast as possible. There are certain maps, certain lost sectors where it's way easier to just kill the boss as soon as you enter the boss room than it is to try and kill all the ads and kill everything that spawns in and then kill the boss. Some bosses, though, do spawn champions like halfway through their damage phase, and so you got to make sure that before you open the chest, you kill those champions so that you can finish with the platinum score. And like I said before, the easiest way I found to kill a final boss is to save most of your heavy ammo, and if you have your super, use it all on the last boss. The third and final tip And again, the one that I think is the most important for Lost Sectors specifically is familiarizing yourself with the layout, where all the enemies are spawning, where, what enemies have shields, where champions are spawning, where they're coming from. The first time that I ran a Lost Sector, I was really intimidated because I didn't know what to expect. And I ran it and I got through it. It took me like 13 minutes out of the 15 minutes. And then I was like, I don't want to do this again. Looking back, I know that I could have run it and it would have been way better if I would have gone back and run it immediately after I had done it, because I would know more about where the enemies are spawning. And once you get to the point where you know where enemies are going to spawn, what shields they're going to have, it makes it that much easier to pick your loadout. It makes it that much easier to be like, oh, I know that when I have to face like shielded shanks, I really want to have a energy weapon that is a solar energy weapon. Stuff like that, just that comes from experience. And again, these are just a few things that I thought I'd share based off of what I noticed had changed about when I was first running Lost Sectors versus now. And if you ever want to play Destiny with me, my Discord's in the description below. My Discord username is in the description below, so feel free to DM me. Other than that, thanks for watching, guys. Peace.